The Bahamas Electricity Corporation today said that it is still trying to figure out what led to the massive power outage that left 50% of the island's residents without power.
Well, Executive Chairman Leslie Miller today said what they do know is that a fault on the network caused the engines at the Blue Hills Power Station to trip offline around 7:30 Monday morning. He says after 11 o'clock a.m., another incident with one of the larger generators at the Blue Hills plant caused another outage, and there were several unforeseen challenges which prolonged the loss of power. Repairs are still being conducted on one of those generators.
The end result of what happened was that there were insufficient capacity to meet the demands on Monday evening. During the evening and night, customers across the island would have experienced periodic supply of disruption. In other words, we were load shedding in some areas in New Providence because of the situation that happened Monday morning. At midnight, TA11 and GT9 were both returned to service, thus giving us enough capacity to meet our demand and restoring electricity supply to all of those customers that were impacted during the day on Monday.
Now, Miller adds the power outages over the last few weeks are not the normal for BEC, noting that in 2012 and 13 there were no load shedding incidents and little interruptions in power. Miller says BEC, which has a capacity of 340 megawatts of power, has more than enough capacity to meet the island's demands, which peak at 210 megawatts in the summertime. He says BEC needs reserves or spinning power, which poses a challenge for the electricity company. He adds that the government is proposing a new power plant at Clifton to erect a new plant that can produce approximately 120 megawatts of reserve power to eliminate the problems.
Ironically enough, the problems that we faced, in fact, over the total blackout that we had a few weeks ago, has nothing to do with the generators. It had all to do with T&D, transmission and distribution. In other words, the substations, the wires and everything else. The problem, as we see it now, is nothing to do with our capacity to produce. It's our capacity to transmit and distribute. And hence we have that problem that we experienced on Monday.